Hello everyone, welcome to our special coverage of China's political season. I'm Zhong Shi in Beijing.
And I'm Li Dongning. In about 60 minutes, the advisory body, the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, or CPPCC in short, will begin its opening session, and Chairman Wang Yang will deliver a work report.
That's right, Dongning. The CPPCC's opening session marks the beginning of the most important annual event on China's political calendar, the Two Sessions.
And the CPPCC has nearly 2,200 members from different political parties, social groups, sectors and organizations. Its most important functions are giving political consultations and also democratic supervision.
And we'll be bringing all of that details to you in our special coverage today. And this year, the members' corridor will continue to give political advisors a chance to speak to the press. And CGTN will also bring you live coverage of those discussions.
Sure, and joining us in the studio today are Professor Fu Jun from Peking University and also Aina Tangen, political and economic affairs commentator. Well, the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, or CPPCC, is the most powerful political advisory body in China. So what is the CPPCC and what are its major functions? Let's find out. The main functions of the CPPCC are political consultation, democratic supervision, and deliberation and administration of state affairs. And to be more specific, the CPPCC discusses major principles and policies proposed by the central and local governments. It gives proposals on matters concerning political, economic, cultural and social affairs. It supervises the implementation of the constitution and also the country's rules and regulations. It also conducts investigations and studies into social conditions and popular sentiments.
And the work that CPPCC does is central to the development of a system China calls whole process democracy. CGTN's Hu Chao has more on how CPPCC members are selected.
Dr. Chen has been a neurologist for nearly 2 decades in Taiyuan, the capital of China's northern Shanxi province. He's been posting videos sharing his medical and health knowledge on social media since 2020, gaining millions of followers. In January, he was selected as a new member of the 13th Shanxi Provincial Committee of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, or CPPCC, and started attending meetings.
During the sessions, we shared our opinions on work reports by the provincial government and CPPCC. We also raised proposals which were discussed in the meetings. Then we took part in voting to elect new leaders of the Shanxi CPPCC.
In his proposal, Dr. Chen calls for more doctors to use social media to help increase the public's awareness of medical and health issues. He's among more than 500 new members from a range of backgrounds that have been selected for the Shanxi branch of the Consultative Conference this year. Dr. Chen was recommended for membership of the People's Political Consultative Conference by the Shanxi Provincial Youth Federation, of which he's been a member for 10 years. The community organization says it was due to his remarkable expertise and achievements in the medical profession, as well as his innovative approach to using social media for public benefit. The process of becoming a CPPCC member is different from becoming an NPC deputy.
While NPC deputies are elected, CPPCC members are chosen through consultation and recommendation.
So how exactly are members of the Consultative Conference chosen? Professor Wei Huling, a 2-time member of the Shanxi branch, explains.
Different parties, groups, and sectors consult and recommend candidates to the Organization Department and the United Front Work Department of the Provincial Party Committee. The two offices will then consult with related sides and make a balance to confirm a list of names to submit to the Shanxi CPPCC Standing Committee for consultation and a vote. The final names will be announced to the public.
Professor Wei says the members' diverse backgrounds reflect democracy in action.
Only those who are representative of and recognized by their party, group, or social sector can be recommended, and they come from all walks of life. It's a requirement of the CPPCC because different voices are needed to consult and make decisions for the people. This is a prominent feature of China's democracy.
Professor Wei says the process by which proposals are made within the Consultative Conference, together with the government's response and decision-making, reflect what's known in China as whole process democracy.
The whole process democracy is reflected in the annual two sessions, when the CPPCC members raise a lot of proposals. During my 2 terms of a provincial CPPCC member, I raised over 50 proposals about education, economy, and environment protection. All received active responses from the government and had good outcomes.
CGTN, Shanxi Province.
Now, my colleague Tian Wei tells us what to expect at this year's meeting.
I'm standing here in the Great Hall of the People. As you can see, this is the space in which the members of the CPPCC and also deputies of the National People's Congress, NPC, going to meet the press. This time it's going to be in person, different from the earlier years. Now, in the afternoon, there's going to be the opening ceremony of the CPPCC, Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference. As you may know, members of that specific conference is made of both the Chinese Communist Party members and those people from different walks of life, from business, science, health, culture, arts, and the list goes on. Now, this year is going to be extremely important. The 2 sessions, the CPPCC as well as the NPC sessions, are going to witness China coming into a new and very exciting development stage. Now, what does that mean for the CPPCC members? They are going to hear reports of the Central Committee of the CPPCC this year, and also they are going to hear reports on the proposals provided by them to the central government. Meanwhile, they are going to hear what the Chinese central government has to say and the policies are to help improve China's social and economic development. And this is going to be an important year for all of you to notice what are China's steps in terms of implementing the directions earlier set by the 20th CPC National Congress, which took place last year. And also, the CPPCC members are going to be over there at the opening ceremony at the National People's Congress, which is taking place on Sunday, during which the government work report is going to be delivered. And usually we are going to see more policies that are up for discussion for the rest of the 2 sessions this year, the NPC and CPPCC. So it's going to be a very exciting period of time. As the Chinese say, it's the annual political season. There are a lot more to take note. I will be here throughout the 2 sessions to bring you more update on the discussions of the 2 sessions, and also talking to CPPCC members and NPC deputies about what's in their minds when it comes to important issues of China and the world.
And our reporter Wang Yang sat down with Pansy Ho-Chi-King, a CPPCC member from the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region, to ask what her proposals are for this year's gathering.
As the member of CPPCC, what proposals will bring to these 2 sessions?
I have been looking at a few topics, and one of those would be surrounding, of course, the future development of the Greater Bay Area, the Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau Greater Bay Area concept, which obviously I have quite a lot of experience and have been already involved with in the past 2 decades. Another very important topic and dear to my own heart is how to make good use of now what we have accomplished in Hong Kong, now putting forward the notion of patriotism and the national security law. I think especially after 2019, Hong Kong had been exposed to a great deal of challenges, And then subsequently there was 3 years of COVID, which also had brought a lot of doubts or fear to some of the people. And I think this is a moment for reconciliation, a moment for us to rebuild the confidence and the sense of security and patriotism.
This is actually the first two sessions gathering after the 20th National Congress of the Communist Party of China in October last year. The report to the National Congress notes that one country, two systems principle should be adhered to for a long time. So what role do you think the one country, two systems principle has played in the development of Hong Kong and Macau?
The one country, two systems is the principle that we all must really be able to understand thoroughly and to uphold. The one country, two systems is based on obviously one country being the prerequisite that we are now returned to our motherland. And it's only under this particular possibility that Hong Kong can continue to thrive. Within the one country, two systems, we are able to demonstrate that there are the two different economic models that could actually work in conjunction, and in fact, to demonstrate that how it can be bringing success to both sides of the equation. I also work in Macau, as you know. So in Macau, it is a much smaller economic basis, but still, it has actually leapfrogged even more in the past 2 decades. Macau has been reliant on a single pillar industry. Now it is also on track to becoming more diversified, and we have already seen the success brought on because of the one country, two systems.
The biggest annual gatherings in China's political season, the two sessions are widely observed by the world for indicators of China's future direction. Former Ethiopian Prime Minister Hailemariam Desalegn Boshi expressed hope that the resolutions to be reached at the two sessions will benefit developing countries like Ethiopia.
I think the best, resolutions will come out from those sessions. That supports our quest for fast and accelerated growth and development in our countries, and especially with this very challenging moment. We have a number of challenges, including the climate change and the disruptions in trade and communications, and also the pandemic, which has hit us hard. So all these challenges, we have to come through that and come out of that and progress well. So I hope this deliberation and decisions that come out of those sessions will be very much supportive developing countries like my own Ethiopia.
Well, the CPPCC members corridor is going to happen very soon. And Zhongxi, this tradition actually started in 2018, and the CPPCC members will take questions of public concerns too from the media. This is actually a chance both for the media to ask questions or even grill the members in a certain way, and also for the members to elaborate their own proposals and also elaborate their thoughts on the development and probably the problems in their own fields.
An interesting attempt, Doni. I would even call it successful to really arouse the public's interest in what those political advisors do, because a lot of their work, a lot of the times, is confined to closed spaces. This is one of the few occasions where they actually meet not just the press, but the people.
Right. It's perfect lead in to the formal meeting,
For
indeed.
sure.
And for a quick review ahead of the members' corridor, let's talk to our studio guest today, Fu Jun. He's professor of the School of Government at Peking University, and also, of course, Aina Tangen, an independent political and economics affairs commentator. Welcome to the show, by the way. And Professor Fu, I will start with you. So what might be your expectations at today's round between the media and the members?
Well, I guess for China to move forward, there are so many things going on. One big thing is about the economy, and we really need to have good feedback from the society to feed into the political process. So I guess a focus will be one of the focus will be on the economy, and the key word is to stabilize, because the Chinese economy has been dropping down a little bit and
Okay,
to stabilize, and then how to
let's go
boost the
to
economy.
the Great Hall of People to see what they are really saying.
The first session of the 14th CPPCC, and this is our first members corridor, and here we invite part of the members of CPPCC to answer some of your questions. Due to the interest of time, only one question allowed. Please identify your media outlets before raising questions. Now let's welcome the first batch of our members. Please introduce yourself. Good afternoon. My name is Wu Xiangdong from DA Party History Museum. My name is Li Shufu from the Geely Automobile Company. My name is Tang Changhong from China's aviation industry. Now the floor is open. Thank you very much. People's Daily. My question to Mr. Wu Xiangdong. Our party always attached great importance to educate the younger generations as an important venue for educating the younger generations about knowing more about our party histories, what kind of activities you have organized, and what's more we can expect. Thank you for your question. The party history, I believe, is the most vivid evidence to introduce the party's journey. And the party museum is the very first time to show you from every aspect of party's the splendid history and also the glorious journey of the party, that also can find the stories about the self-building, the theory, the exploration, and also the fighting stories. I believe this is also the new hallmark with color ride in China, in Beijing. Since the very first day of opening, we have attracted more than 1.5 million people visit, and 1/5 of the visitors actually are young generations. For those kids, when they visit to the museum, they show their respect to the heroes. So, for example, Zhao Yiman wrote a goodbye letter to her son before sacrificing her life. She said in the letter that, "My son, without further words, I use my deed to introduce the party and also the story. Please do not forget that your mom sacrificed herself for the great cause of the country." This is a very touching story, and the people really stand there for a very long time to inspire by the stories of the heroes. And we know that today it's not easy for us where we are today. And it also left a message to us that for younger generations, they also leave a very encouraging word to us that we will carry forward the spirit of the right DNA to build our country. And also in the museum, we have different kinds of activities available, so the kids can find the different activities they're interested in to learn the party history and also to build up their future dream. We believe that this venue actually is a place to consolidate the right DNA and also carry forward our great spirit. To construct this party museum, actually included in the party's 20th National Congress report, going forward, shouldering the historical task of realizing the country, we will make more contribution in the following 3 parts to attract more young kids to visit our museum. and exhibitions. So we would like to first to combine the exhibition with the different elements. So we not only give to the evidence of the party members, but also use different ways to tell the story well, to introduce our history of the party and the heroes, and also to bring more the new elements of the new era into the exhibition. I believe we also can include the more of the elements from their classroom into the exhibition. We believe that the right DNA can be embedded in the kids' DNA, and we believe that also can to further explore our goal as the education virtue. And second, we will also to make new ways to make our innovation more immersive, to make sure that exhibition is more interactive. And we also have the online museum available. So we will use their way to talk to them, to bring the exhibition to the kids. We believe that we use different way of the interaction that can bring the patriotic the emotions to our kids. Third, in the museum, we will have the different key events. So we will also invite younger generations to attend all these ceremonies or events. So through this participation of key milestones, they could, for themselves, truly understand the glorious journey of the party, and also to pursue their dream. So they can be more encouraged to fight for their dream and also carry forward the spirit of the party. Thank you, Mr. Wu.
谢谢主持人，我是中央广播电视总台央视记者。 我的问
Thank
题
you
想
with
提给李书福委员。
CMG-CCTV.
我们知道，在全球减碳的大背景下，中国
So,
汽车工业
under the backdrop of the global carbon reduction, I could see that the new energy vehicle industry actually is catching up and also narrowing the gap between the domestic and international industries. So what we can do in this part. Thank you for your question. I believe that I'm very the person to give you more understanding about this industry. We talk about that the new energy vehicle, actually the vehicle used the lithium or the hydrogen element batteries, or the vehicles that use the recycled batteries. So China actually did quite well in all these aspects. China, as the largest producer and consumer of the NEVs, as well as the biggest exporter of automobiles. They exported 679,000, increasing 120%. And also China actually in the past 8 consecutive years ranked the top in terms of the automobile manufacturing. The industry has several features. First, policy is favorable and everyone worked towards the same goal. Second, in terms of the implementation, we have a quite strict standards and management in place, so everything goes smoothly in a well-orderly manner. And third, we always focus on the key words in terms of green, low-carbon, and sustainable development. So you could see that the construction of the whole industrial land all reflect all these keywords. Talking about the recycle and reproducing capability in this industry actually is improving, and we talk about the reuse of lithium battery. People worried about whether it's environmental friendly. So right now we actually acquire a quite high skill in terms of the recycling and reusing of these kind of the new vehicle battery. So you could see that this is really a green, environmental friendly, and recycling and sustainable industry. And the scale of these industries keeping expanding and the cost is reducing, which means that the consumer can get better experience. So you could see that every year we have so much the opportunities and products available in this new energy vehicle industry, and the people that really rush to like to have a domestic produced new energy vehicles. Why we can make this good performance? First, we owe our achievement to the policy and the clear goal made by the CPPCC Central Committee and the government. And OD's policy actually is very durable and targeted and also implemented to its letter. So we talk about subsidies and also can get your DA green DA plate. And also we have a taxation variable policy in place as well. So these all that help to make further breakthroughs in the technologies and innovations needed in the new energy vehicle industry. Of course, that also received a lot of the help and support from the all walks of life and the different departments of the government, and we could see that in the past years, the CPPCC also involved a lot in terms of making a lot of surveys in this industry. We believe we have a bright future and we have full confidence in believing so. We believe that our sky blue, we're making our sky blue, or have a very clear sky as well.
请这边一位男记者提问。请这位女记者提问。
Thank you, Guangming Daily. My question to Mr. Tang Changhong. A domestic large aircraft made great achievements, marking the leapfrog achievements in China's development and research work in this regard. So would you please talk about the challenges throughout the whole process and how you evaluate the achievements? Your person as the insider, would you please share your experience? Thank you for your question. And also thank you very much for paying great attention to homemade large aircraft. This year marks the 10th anniversary of Y-20 debut flight. During the past decade, from a pilot flight to the actual operation, Y-20 experienced a lot of tough tests and performed many special tasks from the disaster relief and rescue work, home and abroad. You could always find the presence of Y-20, and even in the different continents, drawing the great attention and also demonstrate China's strengths. Last year, C919, a passenger aircraft, completed all pilot flight tasks and tests. Obtaining the certificate.
那么这一型飞机啊，那么去年正式进入航线，开启了他们的航线。
Which means C919 right now is proceeding to the next step of testing in the real air routes.
只有国外干线。
They also mark the end that there's only a foreign aircraft in this testing field. We believe this also carried the great expectation of the country and the people.
In last year's aviation exhibition in Zhuhai, we also witnessed this emergency aircraft, as well as the fueling plane for Y-20. So the family for the large aircraft is also expanding, which showcase the comprehensive national strength is improving. We hope, we aimed at building this aircraft within 5 years and to put it into commercial use within 8 years, and this goal is now completed. The key to our success is self-dependence and self-innovation. This has been our aspiration. During the research of Y-20, this coordination effort, as well as this concerted effort, has been our priority. We have tackled a lot of technological difficulties in terms of digitalization, manufacturing, and simulation, as well as network management. So it's a major demonstration of technological advancement. As a professional in the aviation industry, I deeply feel that this technological self-dependence is crucial and essential to make technological breakthrough when the country needs us to. Our aspiration and journey is now far and wide. We are now striving on the road and long march towards bigger advancement. On this journey, we will continue to make innovation and exploration. Aviation industry will continue to contribute to the improvement and development of our country and the national rejuvenation. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Tang. Thank you, all the members. Now let's give the floor to the second group of members. Please introduce yourselves. Hello everyone. I'm Meng Man from China Minzu University. Hello everyone. I'm Dai Bing from China Tourism Research Institute. Hello everyone. I'm Zhang Wenhong from China Medical Research Center. Now the floor is open to questions. Thank you. With China.com, my question goes to Ms. Meng Man. My question is that last year we successfully held the first conference on national reading, and what is your take on forming this atmosphere of reading for all, and what are your suggestions? Thank you. Actually, in the past years, I've been working in the Women's Federation on this reading project, and I have several insights I'd like to share with all of you. My students asked me, saying that with big data, cloud computing, and AI technologies taking advance, why would I need to read books? And I said that the more advanced technologies, the more you need to read. It not only gives you knowledge, but also help you to make the correct decision and judgment. So why did Wen Tianxiang make his choice in the history and become such a hero in people's heart? It is because he is guided by the correct values. What has he read? He read the classics of Confucius, and knows the way of being a good person and a righteous person. I think it has to do with building the right values and prospect of the world. And people also asked me, I do not have time to read. Can I just listen to some of the readings of the books? Yes, of course, I said. If you listen to the radios and you are also building this kind of connection to books. But personally, the best way to read books is to read it with your own eyes. Why is that? Because the Chinese characters has emotions on their own. We are now holding this CPPCC conference. And if we dig deeper into the Chinese character xie, you can also recognize that there are deeper meaning to it. It signifies unity and coordinates. I think that's also the meaning of CPPCC. It's all about synergy and coordinates, and in order to achieve national rejuvenation. I think this can only be achieved by actually reading with our own eyes. And there are also people asking me that they find it difficult to commit to this habit, to form this habit. My suggestion is to join groups. You could read with your child. You could communicate with your colleagues about the books that you've been reading, and also your friends or some of the reading societies. For example, CPPCC has a very good platform on book reading. I myself have already joined. I think reading will make us more informed and will also give you more interest in everything in life. So all in all, how to form a habit and atmosphere of reading for all. I think the first priority is to answer the question, why do I need to read? And second is to start doing it. It's never late to start doing it. And in this process, you can also make friends. I think it's a project that's been promoted by our country for a long time, and we now have more products concerning reading. We believe that with such supporting policies and a great tradition of reading, and with the wide participation of all people, we will form this society, this atmosphere of reading for all, and the spirit will be carried through, and we will have a more solid foundation for the national rejuvenation. Now spring has come, and it's a best season to start reading. So we encourage all people to start reading and to move forward and further into the future. Second question. With Xinhua News Agency, the question goes to Mr. Daiping. In the new year, we see more and more people that are traveling both at home and abroad. So what is your insight and take on this matter? Tourism is an embodiment of people's pursuit of a better life. In the past Spring Festival, we saw some latest statistics. The number of people that choose to travel amounts to about 300 million, and which also gives rise to about 35 billion yuan of profit in terms of the tourism industry. We see people that are traveling at home, at different places of the country. Some of them travel with their families, some with friends, and they go to rivers and mountains and know about the culture of China. We also see that on February the 6th, a lot of traveling group that destined Thailand and Philippines are warmly welcomed by the local government. And we have also signed this visa agreement with Maldives. Currently, we have signed this the visa agreement with more than 150 countries and regions. In the future, the Chinese people will have more choices when they decide to travel. In the 10 years, we are expediting our process in terms of entering the new period of crowd traveling, and the total person time of traveling exceeds 6 billion. And more and more people choose to go abroad to travel, and has been part of our lives. With the implementation of the 14th Five-Year Plan and also the adjustment and optimization of COVID-19 containment measures, we will continue to act according to the 20th National Congress instructions and requirements, and to promote this integration between the tourism industry as well as cultural industry. We also focus on the individual stories. One of the travelers is from Xining of Guangdong province named Huang Chan. In his 20s, he bought his first plane ticket to travel from Shenzhen to Kunming, and in his 4 years, he worked part-time while saving for the next travel. He went to Qinghai, to Gansu, and he rode bicycles around the Qinghai Lake. And he traveled through mountains and rivers and lakes. He continues to improve himself and has showcased this new choice of young people at the modern time. We see more and more young people join the ranks. And with that, China's travel industry and tourism has become more diversified. We also see this rising and prosperity of a revolutionary of tourism with revolutionary purposes and education. This also showcases people's pursuit of a better life. This is our important window to showcase this coordinated development of material civilization as well as cultural aspiration. We have abundant resources of traveling in China, as well as well-established infrastructure to support the development of the industry. And now we are equipped with the new technologies of green traveling. We believe that more people will choose to travel across China to witness this beautiful landscape as well as cultural relics that are only available in books in the past. And they will also choose a variety of ways to travel. Soon, the Asian Games will be held in Hangzhou. We believe that friends from across the world will also join us to enjoy a beautiful and colorful China. I have a dream. I hope that people from different countries and regions with different skin colors will travel freely in this beautiful blue planet in order to build a community for a shared future for mankind together. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Dai. Now, next question.
东区这位穿灰色衣服的戴眼镜的记者。
好的，谢谢主持人。中央广播电视总台
Thank
央
you.
广记者提问。
With CMG and CCTV, my question goes to Mr. Zhang Wenhong.
疫情3年来，您最
Mr.
大的体会
Zhang, what is your biggest takeaway in the 3-year pandemic? And I'd like to hear from your insights. Thank you so much for being here to encourage us, because the last 3 years has been difficult for, I believe, every one of us. And I feel impressed when Mr. Dai being mentioned about the booming of the tourism today. I'd like to share with you some of my insights, personal insights in the past 3 years. I believe that the pandemic has exerted major impact in our lives, but we do everything to minimize the impact by adjusting our COVID-19 containment measures multiple times so that we successfully avoid the direct impact of some of the more ferocious variants.
I would like to say a big thank you to everyone pitching in, making your contribution in this fight. I also receive a lot of thank yous from the public, appreciating our work. And after all these 3 years, right now, we're coming to this good result. And should rely on everyone. We know that in the certain months the situation quite acute, and also the medical personnel also under a big pressure. It's unprecedented pressure. So the team, my team, a lot of experts in Shanghai visited to the weakened places. We made our visit to the community level medical centers, and we divided into different groups and batches to see whether we can practice the spirit of putting the people's life and the health before everything else. And through our practice, we found that the doctors and nurses on the ground, actually, they are the key person for us. Prevailing over this hard battle. I visit to Zhujiajiao. So Zhujiajiao, this is a place with quite weak medical resources. So I visit there to see whether they could overcome the difficulties. See, the Zhang Fei is a very strong, powerful name in the Chinese history, and he visits accompanied me to the center, and the lady called my name. I didn't visit here. The lady knew my name. So that's the person actually that had quite the severe situation of the COVID disease, and also missed the time of moving to the higher level of the hospitals. So they had a lot of the online consultation, and actually I involved in the online consultation. So the lady knew my name. So just one day before the Chinese New Year Eve. Actually, we heard these good news that the lady is fully cured and very soon will be discharged from the hospital. So we talk about that. That's the capability of the community level medical center, actually a very important venue to cure the patients, like Mr. Zhang Fei, that if you empower the medicines, that they could play a bigger role, because like people really trust is the community level personnel. I believe that everyone just work toward the same goal and work in a joint efforts. I believe that as long as we implemented and enhanced the capability, the construction of the community level medical facilities, we could prevail over the hard times. So we talk about that at a very early time, at the key window time, we could treat the patient that's had a high possibility developing to the severe diseases. We actually seize this great opportunity and cure them in early time. So we accumulate a lot of these kind of precious experience, and also our institutions and also the mechanism as well as systems also find better solutions for it to equip our medical staffs. So the higher level, the hospitals work with community levels, we should build up this kind of system. So this kind of the linkage really help to build up the capability of the local level, the medical center, and if the public health, the risk or the emergency case happened, we have that great space and also the resilience to overcome all the difficulties and also have the confidence to deal with any epidemic that could emerge in the future. And also we could have that confidence and also the conviction. And also, like Mr. Dabin, we have all these favorable conditions to help him realize his dream. We believe that the National Health Commission right now is also in the preparation to consolidation and enhancement of all these community-level medical facilities. Thank you for your question. Thank you very much. Now let's welcome the third batch of the members. Please introduce yourself. Hello to all. My name is Gu Xueming from the Ministry of Commerce International Study. My name is Yang Yang.
请西区那位穿黑色衣服的戴眼镜的记者。
Yang Yang from China's Disabled Persons Federation. Thank you. China News Agency, my service. My question to Mr. Gu. This year marks the 10th anniversary of the Belt and Road Initiative, and this is also the welcomed global public goods and also a cooperative platform. So what the achievements we have gained in the past 10 years in advancing BRI? Thank you for your question, and this is also a very important question. This is also one of the questions drawing global attention. Opening up is one of the key national strategies. With the focus of constructing the parallel free trade zones, we have made further breakthroughs in the international cooperation and also to blazing the new path in this regard. It's the vivid evidence of China's high standard, high quality opening up. At the same time, also provide new opportunities for the global cooperation. We could see that over the past 10 years, the BRI always preserved great opportunities for cooperation, and we have signed 200 documents with the 133 countries and 23 international organizations, and the investment to these BRI countries increased by 80%. According to the World Bank, till 2030, the BRI could help the 7.6 million people out of absolute poverty, and 32 million people could help them live out of the middle-level poverty. As a practitioner in opening up endeavor, I have quite a solid understanding of the Belt and Road Initiative. I knew some behind-the-scenes story, so I could see that the BRI actually answered the question of the time, demonstrating China's philosophy and shouldering China's due responsibility and making China's contribution to the world. There is one Chinese company in the African country and to help construct a pharmaceutical industry. So that's a modern manufacturing industry in Mali, in the Southern Africa, and this is the very first of its kind. And the industry, in pharmaceutical in Africa, that's also to help the boost the development of the upstream and the downstream enterprises. And these pharmaceutical company also export to the 8 countries, help to ease the medicine shortage in the Western Africa, and also won a big applaud and recognition of the people in Africa. So I actually, during my job, knew a lot of these kind of stories and benefiting the local people and improving their well-being. I believe that the shared growth through consultation and collaboration, that's a great cause driven by BRI. Right now we are facing the common challenges, and the world experiencing the uncertainties, and in a grave situation we are looking for more opportunities for interconnectivity and cooperation. BRI is initiated by China, but its results shared by the whole globe. So our future is bright, but the responsibility and the task are arduous. So that make us to further push the BRI to a stable and a sustainable future, so that help us to achieve the goal and also made China's contribution and wisdom in building a community with a shared future for mankind. Thank you, Mr. Gu.
请东区这位棕色衣服的女记者提问。
谢谢主持人，我是工人日报中公网记者。我的问题提给
Workers
杨
Daily.
杨
My
委
question
员。
to
杨委员您好。
Yang
能否
Yang.
结合您自己的经历
Would you
谈一谈
please
听
share
障
with
人
us
士
with
是
your
怎么
own
样突破
experience
障碍
and
成就自己的？谢谢。
disabled people to overcome the
谢谢记
difficulties?
者的提问。也许你们已经听出来了，
Thank you for your
我的发
question.
音有点不一样。
So you could
因为
tell
我是一
that
名重度
I
听
have
力残疾
some
人，
a different accent in my
听不见、听不清，
spoken language.
导致我
Actually,
无
I'm
法
quite
校正
severe
正确的
and
发
also
音。
have
昨
a
天
hearing
是一个
disorder,
跟我们
so I
相
could
关
not
的很重要
correct
的节
my
日——爱尔日。
spoken
听力残疾
language.
是一种隐性
Yesterday also
且容
marked
易
a very
被
special
误
day,
解的
that's
残
the
疾
World
就
Year
像有一
Day.
面透明的玻璃墙，
So
隔
if you
断了
ask
听力残疾人
my
和
experience,
其
it's
他
kind
人
of
之
like
间的
there's
连
a
接。
glass wall between
好在
the
我们生活
hearing
的今
disabled
天的
people
新时
and
代，
the
这些年
others.
来，助听辅具
But right
和
now we
信
are
息
living
无
in
障
a
碍
new
环境
era.
得
Right
到
now we
了
could
极
see
大
that
的
more
发
and
展。
more
国家
facilities
推
are
行
helping
的
us
康
to
复和
overcome
融合
these
教育取得
difficulties
巨
and
大
also the
成效。
inclusive education
石龙修
and
雅
also a lot of the
与
other
建
help
材
given
力
by
学
the government will produce
绝大
results.
部分听力残疾学
The
生
majority of
在
the
普通学校
disabled
接
students,
受随班
hearing
就读
disabled
接受
students
融合
also
教
could
育。
receive that the
玻璃墙
education
正在一层一
with
层地被
the
打破
health people
最
or
终是
students
两端
in
的
the
人
same
产生
classroom.
连接。
So the
我
glass
自
wall
己
actually
就是受
broken
益。
down, and
4岁
these
失聪后，
disabled
父母
people
的家庭
actually
康
could
复，
work
受
and
益
they
在
studied
普
together
通学校
with
随班
the
就读，
health
接受
people
融合
in the
教育。
normal schools. So
我
for
的每
myself,
个
I'm
求
also
学阶
the
段
a
都
person
经历了
benefited
从
from
不
this
修到
policy.
试读的过程，因为听不见、听不清。
Because that people with the hearing disorder actually from the very beginning we could not really tell what the teacher told, but I also learned that a skill that identifying how a teacher pronounced by the movement of her mouth. So I learned that, and right now we have that the 2 PhDs and also post PhDs. So we could see that a lot of people with a hearing disability, but they also can achieve great advances and also pursue their dreams.
依旧历尽波折。
So for myself,
我曾经
I
当过会计、
had my ups and downs. I content before, and right now I also do work for the disabled people. So for myself, I also with the help of the helping facilities that also help me to receive phone calls, so that you can also to convert the audio, the clip into the written word. And also I have the artificial cochlea, and also we have the different facilities to help us because of ODs that the people like me could find different kinds of jobs. So like for the career and the lawyers, the public servants, and you could always find our presence with hearing disorders in a different job position. So the helping facilities and also the inclusive job finding help us to become a better self. So it's really hard to imagine ODs could happen into reality. Actually, before that, we need help from others. Right now, we also can give the help to others. We participate in the country's economic and social development. We would like to make our contribution to make the countries more inclusive, and also everyone can live in this country in a quite inclusive manner. Thank you very much. Thank you all, and this is the end of today's Members' Corridor. And the morning of March 7th, we will have the second Members' Corridor. Please stay tuned.
You've been watching the Members' Corridor, a key component of the ongoing political season here in China. The two sessions, and Doni, this is what we mean by talking about our political advisors come from all walks of life. You know, we've had 8 members speak today. We've had doctors, professors, engineers, car maker executive, and this really gives a glimpse into who they are, why they care, and why they propose what they propose this year.
Right, and you know, this is the charm of this Members' Corridor. Like you said, we met different people and letting us know what's going on in different fields, such as aviation, such as green economy, such as the care from society and the government to the disabled people as well. And also, we've been able to meet some familiar faces like Zhang Wenhong, like Meng Man, my most favorite professor, very capable of popularizing Chinese literature and history as well. And Zhang Wenhong, as we all know, a big medical influencer during the pandemic. We've also met people maybe not that familiar in face, maybe unknown to people, that they've been making great efforts in China's very important industries like the car industry, like green economy, like aviation industry, tourism industry, etc. So this is the charm of the corridor.
And I love that word charm. This gets very personal for a lot of those advisors, and that's why they do their job well. We do want to get an update from our reporter Chen Ziyuan, who's just outside of the venue. Ziyuan, we've just been watching the Members' Corridor here. What struck you the most from the the answers by those political advisors?
Well, 2 of those stories caught my attention, definitely. I think the first one is by Tang Zhenghong, the chief designer of Aviation Industry Corporation of China. He talks about expansion of big aircraft, especially he talks about the C919s getting test flights in Zhuhai, especially at the end of last year. And also that has demonstrated the capability of China's technology development. And also by Dai Bin, who is the head of China Tourism Academy, he talks about how the tourism industry has changed in the past few years, including now the cultural tourism is probably the hit, especially it meets the demand and need of millennial. And also green tourism is one of the topics they are very interested in. And I also want to point out that, as you can see, the background is now pretty clear up. All the members are seated in the Great Hall of the People waiting for the opening. And also some of the key points that I want to point out here. So the first plenary session of 14 National Committee of CPPCC will kick off in just a few minutes. In addition to that, they have approved agenda on Friday, and 9 items are included. They will be listened to the work report of Standing Committee of CPPCC National Committee. They will be also listen to the report of proposal. Members will be listening to the first plenary session of 14th National People's Congress, as well as government reports and other relevant reports. And I also able to talk to some of the members before they enter the Great Hall of the People. They say they're feeling pretty good, especially one of them who is representing the National Youth League. He talked about how he wants to express the voice of youth during the meeting here, and also listening to the proposal and make sure that those voices are heard. And also, I also talked to who are special invitees from the special administration region of Hong Kong, and he is mostly focusing on to incorporate the national security education into, for example, in elementary school and also middle schools, because he thinks that it's very important to include those to show the national pride and also encourage the youth to really learn about how to protect national sovereignty. So these are some of the major topics that I've listened to. And of course, I think you can see in the future image that they are all ready to serve their advisor role and also leading the country and uniting all parties and also the peoples of all ethnic groups to move in unity. Back to you in the studio.
So we appreciate that update from you, CGTN Sun Ziyuan, live just outside the Great Hall of the People in Beijing, and also watching the members' corridor with us in the studio, and I believe getting equally charmed by the members are our guests, Professor Fu Jun from Peking University and independent commentator Einar Tang. And Einar, let me get your take on the corridor also. I find this a refreshing part of all that formality, because other than these moments, a lot of discussions and deliberations take place behind closed doors. This is one of the few locations where you can really see who these political advisors are and why they care about what they care.
Yeah, I've been doing this show for a while in terms of returning to this members' corridor, and it is. I mean, this is an attempt to speak directly to people. I go one step further. I agree with everything you said in terms of the charm and things like that. But obviously these people were chosen to speak, and the mixture of it and the message behind it, I think, was really, really important. I mean, what I picked up on, it was about education, values, history. They talked about exports and commercial things, independence in terms of aircraft, and confidence. I think this was a large part of this was conveying to people, look, your government has a plan, and it includes not only the aviation and things like that, but you have the China Disabled Persons Federation talking about the challenges there and how they're being met. And I noticed a tagline for almost half of them was a shared future for mankind. So there's a lot of discipline being shown. There are a lot of headwinds out there. People have questions, and the issue is how can the government convey to them that there's a plan, that you don't have to worry, and that all of society will be included.
Right. I agree with you that actually they reflect the government's plans and the government's the confidence on the government, knowing that they are doing something very solid, very, very concrete even to the people, to change people's lives. One of the topics that interested me the most is the green economy, development of the green economy. As Li Shufu said, China has been making great efforts in developing new energy cars, for instance. But apart from cars, China also, what are some of the key areas that China has been doing green economy, Professor Fu?
Well, car, of course, is a big part of the picture looking forward. Then you are looking at the whole industrial infrastructure, steel, chemical, and what have you, and the power, by the way. If you look at the energy structure of China today, it's roughly 85% continue to be fossil fuel based. And the challenge for us, we need to transform that big part into non-fuel based. We have set up 2 targets by 2030. Prior to 2030, we need to peak for the CO2 emission. Then we need to go down by the year of 2060. And basically, what we look forward is you are looking at 3 parts of the picture. One is we need to increase energy efficiency, sort of low carbon emission, then zero carbon emission. At the end of the day, and we need to mop up what we emit into the atmosphere, and by there we are looking at the technology called CCUS, carbon capture utility as storage, so CCUS. And hopefully we'll be on time for that very daunting task. So looking forward, this is a sort of a big transformation of Chinese industrialization. And hey, in the back, do not remember, we are talking about 1.4 billion people.
Right, and perhaps this is already big for 1.4 people. This is a large portion of the whole population in the world, and also will change to some extent global industrial development as well.
And a key remark made by that engineer when he talked about China's development in large aircraft is that it's so important that we're realizing technological independence is key for China's development in the next phase. And I believe we'll be hearing a lot of that in the course of the 2 sessions this year. And we're just moments away from the start of this year's session of the National Committee of the CPPCC. Let's turn back to the venue at the Great Hall of the People in the center of Beijing, where the first session of the 14th National Committee of the CPPCC is starting.
Fellow members, friends, and comrades, this is the first session of the 14th National Committee of the CPPCC. 2,169 members are supposed to be present, and the actual attendance is 2,132. It is up to legitimate standard. Now I declare the first plenary session of the 14th CPC National Committee officially begins. Please all rise and sing the national anthem. Please be seated. Upon our invitation, also with us today are General Secretary of the CPC Central Committee, President of the PRC, Chairman of the Central Military Committee, Comrade Xi Jinping, other leaders of the party and state, representatives of the CPC Central Committee, NPC, Standing Committee, and State Council, as well as foreign envoy to China, overseas Chinese. A warm welcome to you all. We have two items on the agenda today. First of all, Comrade Wang Yang will deliver a work report on behalf of the Standing Committee of the 13th National Committee of the CPPCC.
Fellow members, on behalf of the Standing Committee of the 13th National Committee of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, I present this report on our work in the past 5 years and suggestions on our work going forward for your deliberation. 1. Our work in the past 5 years in review. The past 5 years has been the extraordinary period since the 19th Party Congress. The CPC Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping consolidated the strategic situation of the Chinese rejuvenation and world change unseen in a century, and has united and led the whole party, military, and people of all ethnic groups to effectively respond to the grave and complicated situation globally, as well as many risks and challenges. We have secured a victory in building a moderately prosperous society in all respects, and also to achieve the first centenary goal. And the party and the country have made remarkable achievements, making an irreversible historical progress in realizing great rejuvenation of the Chinese nation. Over the past 5 years, the CPC Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core has strengthened its overall leadership over the CPPCC. And also for the very first time, we convened the Central Conference on CPPCC work and formulated suggestions on enhancing and improving the work in the CPPCC, providing a fundamentally political guarantee for developing the cause of a CPPCC. The National Committee and Standing Committee of CPPCC have taken the Xi Jinping Thought on Socialism with Chinese Characteristics as the guidance and firmly implemented the spirit of the 19th and 20s of the Party Congress and preserved the nature and the position of a CPPCC and followed the national priority of strategies and serve the overall picture. We pool the strengths and resources to realize the rejuvenation of Chinese nation. We also made innovations in the CPPCC work in terms of practice, series, and institution in line with the time, thus demonstrating a new atmosphere and a new look of the CPPCC, making new contribution to the endeavor of the party and the country. The year 2022 is an important year on the history of the party and the country. The Standing Committee of the CPPCC National Committee gave the political priority to preparing for the CPC's 20th National Congress and studying, politicizing, implementing its guiding principles throughout the year. We earnestly performed the job in providing theoretical guidance, pulling strings, deliberating, offering suggestions, and also serving the overall interests of the country. In order to introduce the historical change and achievements since the 18th National Congress, we also invited more than hundreds of the members to talk about the stories in the new era. We also organized the 17 consultative events for implementing the 14th five-year plan and also made 75 investigations or on-site visits. And we organized 11 briefings on key concerned issues and also 11 lectures on the major projects, thus making contributions toward a steady and healthy economy, a thriving nation, a harmonious society, and a political environment of honesty and integrity. And we also guide the all participants from the different party organizations, the people from different ethnic groups and all walks of life to translate the two establishment and to uphold into their actions and also in all their endeavors. Over the past 5 years, we have done the following. First, we have made a deep study in implementing the Xi Jinping thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era, ensuring the party exercise its overall leadership over CPPCC. We have acquired a deep understanding of CPPCC's nature, that CPPCC is an important body, that it is CPC-led multi-party cooperation and political consultation. By studying the innovative theory of the party, we have consolidated our fundamental ideology and also let the thoughts to steer our work going forward. We also improved a study institutional system centered by the theoretical study of the CPPCC party group. We organized 11 studying groups focusing on studying Xi Jinping thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics in the new era, conducting 179 meetings and discussions. We also carried out themed education events that never forget where you start, you can accomplish your mission. And we also studied the party history and also to guide the party CPPCC members to constantly enhance identification with policies, thinkings, theories, and also the emotions. We also carried out the Xi Jinping thought on improving and strengthening the work of the CPPCC. We continue to implement the central party meetings on CPPCC work, and also we reviewed the work implemented last year. We have constantly make our understanding on the pattern of CPPCC work. Regarding the implementing of the guidance on strengthening the party building in the CPPCC for the new era, we convened the first symposium under this theme and also formulated and refined the system of parties' overall leadership over CPPCC and implementing key decisions of the deploy of CPPCC of the CPC and also the Xi Jinping's important guidance on accountability inspection. We also establish once per year standing committee meeting mechanism, as well as the institute of the specialized committee by party group to report their work to CPPCC party branch, and also the rules on working on different party branch groups, as well as comments on job performing. By doing so, the party group of CPPCC could have a full coverage of party members in the CPPCC, and also the party can have the overall coverage of CPPCC work. We earnestly practice the 8-point decision on improving work conduct, and also help to create a good system featuring a strong party building, a good leadership on teams, helping performing the job, and also to building unity. Second, we also earnestly perform our duties and fulfill our responsibilities to do a good job with the focus on the top priority of the party and the country. We pursue the act on the general principle of pursuing progress while ensuring stability, applying the new development philosophy in full and right way, and endeavor, and also promote high-quality development. We have the discussions on different themes, including fostering a new pattern of development, developing real economy, promoting major innovation, and promoting healthy development of new energy vehicle industry, securing national food security, advancing fighting against pollution, building higher level peaceful China, doing a better job in education, and making our contribution to the construction of the Great Canal Civilization Belt, and also the overseas economic and trade cooperation zones. These are the topics related to economic and social development. At the same time, we also discuss about the topics regarding population aging, public cultural services in rural areas, take out food safety supervision, and the formulation and amendment of the law regulation. These are the real problems concerned to people's interests, and we make a thorough selection of the topics, and also made in-depth surveys to provide the accurate suggestion. In formulating and implementing 14th Five-Year Plan, we also made our due contribution during the whole process. We carried out 35 meetings to build up the advisory suggestions. After the 19th the fifth plenary session of the 19th Party Congress, we also had a standing committee meeting to study the spirit of the 14th Five-Year Plan, to make our suggestions, and in order to make contribution to the securing decisive victory in poverty alleviation, and also to ensure a smooth transition from the consolidating, expanding the poverty alleviation effort to rural revitalization. We made 71 visits or on-field visits to contribute our share. And we also perform our job earnestly in terms of the major epidemic prevention and control, building sound public service system, emergency response system. We relied on the job performing platform, organized the specific questionnaire covering all members of CPPCC, leveraging the role of the seminars, the proposal handling, and also reflecting the people's will. And we received 3,500 pieces of suggestions or the problem reporting. These all help us to collect all this information as the reference for the decision making. Third, we improve the higher quality of a consultation, better leveraging the role as a designated consultative body. We doubled our efforts in enriching the consultative forms, optimizing consultative procedures, and improving its capability. We refined the consultative and deliberating and offering suggestion system by lighting the plenary session as the leading part, special topic, the standard committee meeting, and also the consultative meeting as the major part, and also the routine conference as a normal practice. And we also organized 105 the key political and consultative events, and this helped to better leverage the role of CPPCC in national governance system by conducting regular proposal handling, the consultation meeting, and with the relevant social sectors and departments. We also invite the members from different industries and to talk about the rural modernization and also the education, the common prosperity, to discuss in details. We organized 74 meetings in this kind. Driven by the result of consultation, we encourage the members to carry out a self-survey and also explore the evaluation in terms of the proposal quality, and also refined the consultation result, report, summit, feedback system, as well as a further application system. And we also embrace the key supervision topic into the annual consultative plan. Approved by the Central Party Committee, we focused on the 14th five-year plan to carry out a specific topic on democratic supervision, as well as ex-serviceman guarantee policies, the tourism, soil protection, and other 10 topics in regard, and also help to push the government and the country's policies better implemented. We help to improve the working mechanism in order to pull the different ideas and suggestions across the board, and also to build the documents regarding the further strengthening the responsibilities and duties of the members. Based on the party documents and political documents, we have taken the CPPCC Charter as the base, and also to consider the CPPCC Institute as the main body to build up the whole system, make sure that the members can perform their job in a more closer and a smooth manner in order to produce a obvious result. So we would like to build a good environment where members can actively speak out freely and express their views in a rational and appropriate manner and in accordance with the law. We also implement the suggestions and strengthening and improving the county-level CPPCC work in the new era in order to help the work on the ground to better implement it. Fourth, we carried out the work on pooling the consensus, helping the party to lead the country and also the people to governance the country, that help to lay the solid foundation in terms of policy and the social structure. We scribed a good understanding of the requirement of the time and also to find the feature of the work, and we also to find the opportunities provided by the key milestones to strengthen the ideological work by taking the key events such as the 70th anniversary of the founding of New China and the centenary of the CPC. These help us to organize the different lectures and to pull the members all together to form the better unity. And we also expand the mechanism and also the working channels so that we have this kind of the communication system in place. We invited the 3,994 times person to have this communication, so in a very candid way, with different themes, such as studying the 100 years history of the party, to promote the 4 identifications. We organized 34 special surveys in different social sectors, and also to produce the different series and documentary of the communist spirit, and also 46 lectures to tell the story of the multi-party cooperation, and also organize the 68 times of the promotion to talk about the CPC's United Front. We also encourage the members to conduct self-education and also encourage them to love reading. We have established the online and offline facilities under the umbrella of the CPPCC Reading Academy. And we also have available the 147 reading groups to study the party's history, to better understanding the Xi Jinping's thought on ecological civilization and the Chinese culture's origin. By doing so, that can help to improve the skill set of the members and also to reach the consensus. This also helps the members talk to each other across different sectors and also to answer the questions from the public. And this can also help the members be the good advocates of the policy and also be the most closest person to the people. Fifth, we have fully leveraged the role of the CPPCC as the most inclusive patriotic united front organization, pulling the strengths of the sons and daughters of the Chinese nation to realize the goal of national rejuvenation. The CPPCC adapted to the times to organize the great unity and solidarity, and we also have promoted harmony in relations between political parties, between ethnic groups, religious, the social strata, or compatriots at home and abroad. By taking the opportunity of the 110th anniversary of the Revolution of 1911, we have further pushed the confidence in national reunification and expanding common ground and achieving the greatest possible convergence of interests, and also build a strong sense of community among the Chinese nation. We have organized different kinds of the communication mechanism, and we received a proposal 1,675 under the name of the different parties, and also 502 speeches, and also to have conducted 40 activities. We invited the non-party members to involve in performing their job, and we also invite the people from different sectors, including the non-public economic sector as well as the new social strata, to involve in our events. We also made a further survey to build up a community of the Chinese nation. We also had a specific survey under the theme of the ethnic minorities and religions. In order to build up the capability of people loving the country and loving Hong Kong and Macau, we also encourage the members from Hong Kong SAR and also the Macau SAR to make their voice heard in terms of the Hong Kong National Security Act and improving the electoral system of the Hong Kong SAR by National People's Congress. We also involved to hold the exhibition commemorating the 75th anniversary of the recovery of Taiwan by the motherland, and also organized the Street Forum Community Governance Forum in order to strengthen ties with relevant political parties, organizations, and individuals in Taiwan. We also have invited the Chinese overseas to attend the meetings as non-voting members and also involve them to the BRI initiative. Following the nation's foreign affairs work plan, we strengthened a friendly communication and exchange with people from different countries, as well as the political organizations and the media and think tanks. We also taken this opportunity to introduce and promote the Xi Jinping thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for the new era, the national governance, all process people's democracy, the system of the CPPCC, so people can have a better understanding and recognition of China's past and development model. And we also organized a front group with the Africa and also invite the foreign envoys in China and overseas students to visit CPPCC. We also organize the specific forum and the meetings on the United Front of Socialist countries, and we also support the international communication by the China Economic and Social Council, and we also carry forward the fighting spirit. CPPCC issued stern statements against acts concerning Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Xinjiang by the U.S. Congress and the European Parliament, and Pelosi's visit to China's Taiwan region. and we firmly defend the sovereignty, security, and development interests. 6, we have promoted innovation in our work to better serve our duties and also improve our working efficiency. We have integrated the fine tradition and also the innovative way to conduct our work, and we focus on how to better and effectively carry out our work. We've also touched great importance on the internet. We conducted different meetings online and also the consultative, the remote consultation events. We have the 144 chatting groups with 91,000 people giving their suggestions. And these proposals we received online reached 92.17%. That also helped to increase the participation of members and also our working efficiency. At the same time, we also have focused on the quality of proposals and also the quality of handling proposals. We have further optimized the consultative mechanism of proposals, and also we have the 100 important and influential key proposals over the past 7 decades. Over the past 5 years, we received 29,323 cases of proposals and also filed 23,818 cases with the rate of 99.8% being done. And we also to expand the channels of receiving the people's wills and also to better serve the party's policy. And we also help to make our contribution in the country's history and culture work. And we also help to publish a cultural basis regarding the experience and the journeys witnessed and experienced by CPPCC. And we have also formulated and studied the suggestions on enhancing and improving CPPCC work, and we also conduct meetings with localities and giving guidance to the CPPCC work in different levels. We also organize the meetings to promoting the ideas of CPPCC work in order to strengthen the ideological construction and management.
7. We have strengthened self-improvement in order to lay a solid foundation for our work. We have adapted to the new requirement of the CPPCC. The CPPCC members should show their responsibilities as hosts and specialists, as well as service providers of authorities at all levels. These efforts should be unified in building of an effective consultancy body. We should also strengthen our political capabilities, strengthen our responsibility, and enhance performance, and host seminars at all levels for the members. We organize the members to participate in reports, meetings, and seminars, and compile textbooks for the teams of the members. We have also invited president members to carry out inspections at the local level. We have altogether invited 716 person time to participate at the standing committee's meetings. This performance evaluation system has been optimized, including the performance file, the statistics, as well as the reports. We have also established awards. We have carried out the 3 award granting ceremonies with 60 awardees and 28 additional nominees. We have held special work meetings of the National Committee of the CPPCC, stipulated codes of the special committees. We have also established this evaluation system and work method for evaluation of the quality for consultancy. The special committees should perform important duties to connect the members and provide services to them. We should also strengthen the capability building at the local level and improve their abilities. We also implemented epidemic control measures organize our meetings and mechanisms in a new way so that it can be more effective. We also carried out inspection duties so as to ensure that the cadres are more disciplined and hardworking at their daily life. Fellow members, the achievements in the past 5 years is attributable to the strong leadership of the CPC Central Committee with Communist Xi Jinping at its core, and also to the synergy of CPPCC at all levels. It is also attributable to your contribution and outstanding performance as CPPCC members. On behalf of the Standing Committee, I'd like to express my heartfelt thanks to you all. However, we shouldn't ignore the fact that we still have a lot of room for improvement in our work. The performance mechanism should be more systemized, standardized, and programmed. And this interactions and expression of opinions should be further strengthened. Our efficacy and level should be further improved. We should continue to build consensus and carry out democratic inspection and supervision and communicate to the people better. We believe in the future work, we should continue to improve work in all of the fronts mentioned above. Second, important takeaways of the 5 years' work. The 13th CPPCC studied carefully General Secretary Xi Jinping's instructions on improving the work of CPPCC, and in practice, we further deepened our recognition and understanding of CPPCC's work. First, we must unswervingly stick to the comprehensive leadership of the CPPCC. This is the fundamental political principle that the CPPCC must adhere to, and also the biggest political consensus by all parties, groups, and ethnic minorities of the CPPCC. In the past 17 years, the history has proven that the stronger the party's leadership, the more prosperous the CPPCC's work would be, and the more pronounced the systematic advancement. The party's leadership must be carried through and be translated into concrete actions, as well as our working plan, performance, as well as self-improvement. We must fully understand the concepts of two establishments to strengthen four awarenesses as well as four competences, and to implement the two safeguards. The party should strengthen its leadership over the CPPCC and the leadership over the organization system as well as mechanisms, so that the CPPCC can become an important platform for the party to strengthen its leadership on work of all fronts. The innovative theories of the party should be able to unite and educate the lead people of all ethnic groups to form synergy, build consensus, and ensure party's comprehensive leadership of the CPPCC. Second, we must thoroughly understand the nature and positioning of the CPPCC. This is the prerequisite for the CPPCC to stay on the right path and to unleash its biggest potential. The CPPCC, as an organization to carry out the United Frontier, this multi-party cooperation and the political consultancy mechanism, and is also the special mechanism to realize whole process people's democracy. Consultancy is the brightest feature and advancement and advantage of the CPPCC mechanism, and also important concept and basic methods. We should further promote unity and multi-party cooperation to practice the people's democracy. The special consultancy body is our nature. And it's also an embodiment of the new concept of the CPPCC at a new era. CPPCC itself is not a body of negotiation, but an important consultancy platform to practice democracy and participate in decision-making process of all parties. The members of all parties and different ethnic groups should be translated into decision choices. The party's proposals should also be translated into comprehensive consensus of people of all walks of life. This is how the CPPCC mechanism plays its role. 3. We must focus on the central work of consultancy and improve efficacy at the same time. This is also the new concept for the CPPCC at a new era in order to realize national rejuvenation. We also need to make it a long-term scheme to enrich this crowd consultancy mechanism. The content and formalities of consultancy should be further diversified. We need to focus on major issues of public concerns and make scientific choices and carry out discussions so that we can choose the proposals accurately, research thoroughly, and consult widely and achieve high quality discussions. We must continue to strengthen the regulation and cultivate the culture and streamline the process and create an atmosphere for consultancy so that we can seek common grounds while reserving differences, be more candid in discussions, and be more interactive in in-depth meetings. We must continue to improve on the efficacy for consultancy. We should pull the wisdoms of the public together and work to serve the scientific decision-making process. And in this kind of improved consultancy, we can further showcase the unique advantage of the CPPCC as a consultancy body. 4. We must stick to the two major themes of unity and democracy. This is an embodiment of our nature, as well as our features and advantages. Political unity is the basis for democracy. Why democracy, in turn, will strengthen political unity. A CPPCC will continue to work on the ground unity of all parties as well as people from all ethnic groups. Through consultancy, we can continue to form consensus. This is what true democracy looks like. The formation of consensus is the predisposition for the consolidation of unity and also the goal for democracy. It serves as the bridge to connect the political leadership as well as the formation of consensus. It should also be part of inspections, investigations, and consultancies. It should be reflected in the evaluation system for the performance of the CPPCC. The more difficult issues that we face, the more the CPPCC should shoulder its responsibility to promote democracy and unity. The CPPCC is in a position to explain, to interpret, to unite, and promote and form synergy to together realize the Chinese dream. 5. We should continue to strengthen the sense of responsibilities for the CPPCC members. This is the natural requirement to showcase the new bearings for the CPPCC in a new era. CPPCC membership is not only an honor but also a responsibility. We should keep in mind General Secretary Xi Jinping's requirement concerning the CPPCC members' sense of responsibility, disciplines, and working integrities. The CPPCC is for the people and country. We should also strengthen self-study, education, management, and supervision. The members should shoulder the major responsibilities and act as role models in their own working positions. CPPCC at all levels should strengthen its administration and optimize its services, and strengthen the incentives and disciplinary mechanisms so that the members can act their duties and perform it better in their work. 3. Suggestions for future work. The CPC 20th National Congress has laid a blueprint for the great rejuvenation of the country, and it points to the right direction for the cause of the party and the country. The CPPCC should continue to act according to General Secretary Xi Jinping's thoughts on socialism with Chinese characters for a new era, and the spirit and carry through the spirit of the work meeting of the CPPCC, perform its duties, and realize this whole process, people's democracy, to promote unity of Chinese. First, we should continue to study the important instructions of the CPC 20th National Congress, and this should be our top political priority. We should also strengthen trainings to CPC members, especially new members, to study the theme and essence and strategic deployment of the 20th National Congress, and to guide the members to keep in accordance with CPC Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core. We should also implement the requirement of the 20th National Congress on the work of CPPCC, strengthen party leadership, strengthen the United Front, as well as democratic consultancy mechanism. The mechanism of the CPPCC should be more systemized, standardized, and programmed. We should also strengthen in-depth discussion and full expressions of opinions and form consensus so that the spirit of the 20th National Congress can be translated into concrete actions in our work. Second, consult on major issues concerning the party and the state. We should continue to build China into a comprehensive socialist modern country and work to realize the second centenary goals. The 5-spear integrated plan is our priority, and 4 comprehensive is our focus. We should continue to implement new development concepts, build new development scope, and discuss important matters in order to build consensus to form synergy. We should implement the regulations on CPC political consultancy work so that CPPCC can further promote the scientific and democratic decision-making process and consensus formulation. We should consult on strategic deployment of building China into a modern socialist country. We should optimize the inspection mechanism of the CPPCC, improve efficacy, and strengthen CPPCC's role in political inspection. 3. We should continue to build on consensus to promote unity. We must stay committed to the patriotic frontiers strengthen unity and diversity, enrich the platform, strengthen consensus, build a sound communication mechanism with people, encourage and support the members to go to the grassroots level, to interact with the people so that they can reflect the opinions and suggestions of the people, to publicize the national strategies and targets, to coordinate relations and address paradoxes, so that people of all ethnic minorities can unite around the CPC. Fellow members, great achievements make us more resolved. Magnificent targets encourages us to forge ahead. Let us unite closer around CPC Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core, guided by Xi Jinping's thoughts on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era. We will work hard and move forward to build a modern socialist country and realize the Chinese dream of national rejuvenation.
All right, that was the opening session of CPPCC this year, one of the very significant meeting during the two sessions, indeed. And Wang Yang just made a report on what CPPCC has done in the past 5 years. And from that report, actually, we've got a very clear idea of how CPPCC works and their functions and how what kind of effort they've made to make not only the numbers of their proposals matter, but also the quality of the proposals matter. I think from that report, we've got an idea that the very important function of CPPCC's consultations, in that criteria, they submitted more than 3,500 proposals covering numerous areas, such as macro as the pandemic control, food security, green development, trade, etc., and as micro as takeout food security, safety, and rural public culture service, etc. And in terms of enhancing, guarantee the quality of the proposals, they managed to trace where those proposals went into different sectors and how they have been implemented. I think that's a very efficient way of making the proposals work. And another vital work of CPPCC is to unify all the Chinese people, both at home and abroad, to form a unified front to make the country stronger and more prosperous. And also the CPPCC also played a very important role in diplomacy, an important role in terms of making better connections with the international communities and other countries as well.
Issues of concern to the Chinese people, big and small. When he reflected back on the CPP's work in the last 5 years, he attributed the accomplishments mentioned by Dong Yin to the leadership of the Communist Party of China and said the CPPCC would carry forward the guidelines set in the 20th CPC National Congress. It's also worth noting he kept mentioning that the quality of consultancy continues to be improved, and that in the areas for possible improvement in the future, Wang Yang did say that performance mechanism and the efficacy of consultancy should be further strengthened and improved. Let's talk about all of this with our studio guests here.
Right. And Professor Fu and Aina Tangen, they both listened to the report. Well, as we just said, that the CPPCC, the main work is democratic supervision and also to implementation of their supervision into maybe changing or transforming the major policy-making process, etc. And the main way of doing that is by submitting proposals as Wang Yang just said, more than 3,500 proposals really worked in different areas, covered macro and micro areas as well. And according to CPPCC official website, actually more proposals have been sent. More than 29,000 proposals from the CPPCC members have been sent. This is a very big number. So, Professor Fu, tell us what kind of mechanism is there to ensure this big number of proposals can work effectively in terms of affecting China's policy making and people's livelihood?
If you listen very carefully about the words they use, deliberate instead of calculate. Deliberate to me is if you have a range of things to do and eventually you have to choose. And the choosing process you have to weigh. So that's why you see a wide range of proposals. And we also need to remember now the 2 sessions. We usually say 2 sessions. The Political Consultative Conference, for the benefits of the foreign listeners, it's not part of the legislature, whereas the MPC is. And the 2 need to work together interactively. And to have a good legislation, you need to have good, precise information. And also hear the word quality information. Now, here in the background is that China is in a critical period of moving from a model that is extensive to a model that is intensive. And to have a successful shift of the 2 models, a key is information, intensive information, very precise. And the Political Consultative Conference also have their specialized committees. And when they have different proposals, they need to choose. And for ones they will pass on or in exchange of opinions with the MPC members so that the legislature, the laws they will make will hopefully of a quality laws. And that's the way the 2 sessions usually come together. We say 2 sessions.
Einar, something that struck me is that Wang Yang kept mentioning how the work of the political advisors has kept improving and transforming in the last 5 years. In terms of how they submit their proposals, they have offline and online consultations. I understand there's also an app where political advisors can submit their work with more ease and convenience.
I'm curious what app that is.
I don't think we have access to that app. You'd have to be a political advisor first.
It's not Chat APT.
Of course not.
So, in your observation, Einar, how has this mechanism been improving in the last 5 years?
I've been watching this. I've been doing this since 2018, reviewing these. And it's all about communication, and using the apps very, very important. But one thing I wanted to add, and for people outside, they might wonder why there was a 50-minute speech and there was this huge laundry list of everything that he had done, and seemed just very sincere and very step by step. This has to do with the sense of humility. If he had come up and said, "Look, we did great, don't worry about it," that would have been seen as very arrogant. So by standing forth and giving all the details, he's really showing the party and the people that they're very diligent, that everything has been considered. And this is very important, and something that people outside who are watching kind of like, well, I don't know what this means, why it was so detailed, a lot of the stuff I don't understand. But for most people, it's sincerity, and sincerity is a huge issue. When it comes to China. People want to know that their leaders are in fact sincere. And in terms of the process itself, that's it. What he is saying is, he said, look, we were tasked with doing these things. Here's what we did, and then we go.
Einar and Professor Fu, we thank you so much for your analysis. Appreciate your time. And tomorrow, the opening session of the National People's Congress will take place at the Great Hall of the People in Beijing. Chinese Premier Li Keqiang will deliver a work report on the government's work.
Indeed, and CGTN will surely follow the MPC sessions and related events. We'll also live stream them on CGTN's social media platforms, so stay tuned with us.
And I believe that wraps up our coverage today of China's political season. I'm Zhong Shi.
I'm Li Dongning. Thanks for watching.